Dominance, if you've ever wanted to get into the mind of a subtype to better understand the submissive experience, this is your chance, because today I'm giving you radical insight into operating with the confident guidance submissives are longing to respond to. Let's quickly recap the content we covered last week when we contrasted the stereotypical sex-crazed dominant with the one who primarily focuses on their submissive's growth. Because true domination is not just about sex or kinky play. Domination is what allows the sex or kinky play to happen. Unfortunately, too few dominants lean in to the developmental aspect of their leadership because they're afraid of being the controlling, narcissistic abuser dressed in a dominant suit. But the thing to remember is that in a consensual power exchange dynamic, the submissive beneath this intimidated, apathetic, or complacent dominant is often bitter and bored because they're not receiving the leadership they crave. They don't consider these behaviors to be controlling. Not at all, dominants. They consider this to be effective domination, which will encourage them to surrender to your leadership. So, when it comes to encouraging more profound levels of growth in your dynamic, don't be lenient regarding your rules, rituals, and protocols, dominants. You don't want to choose rules, rituals, and protocols that are unnecessary busy work, and you also don't want to choose rules, rituals, and protocols that fail to require mindfulness, attention, and consistency from the submissive. The key to fostering growth is to choose specific goals and structure your rules, rituals, and protocols in a way that require focus, diligence, humility, and expansion from your submissive. So today, we're moving on to the next skill that will make you a high-demand dominant, and that is the ability to guide your submissive without crossing the line into toxic control. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you have likely heard me refer to terms such as seduction and inducement, as well as narcissism and manipulation. Guiding your submissive without crossing the line into toxic control requires a very clear understanding of the exact delineation between such behaviors and their deeper motivations. Seduction is about enticing someone into engagement, and inducement is about persuading someone into engagement. Essentially, effective seduction crafts a winning emotional argument that someone willingly buys into, and effective inducement crafts a winning intellectual argument that someone willingly buys into. Manipulation, however, is always after control, and usually, if not always, includes some degree of deception. Because, and here's what I want you to really, my note takers, write this down, take this note, because if you have suffered at the hands of abusers, if you have suffered at the hands of narcissists, if you have been emotionally abused, if you've been emotionally manipulated, listen to what I'm about to say. Manipulation fundamentally acknowledges that you are going against the will of another to accomplish your own will. Manipulation acknowledges this. That is what makes it manipulation. This is an unspoken, subconscious, and often unrealized element of manipulation, but it doesn't make it any less true. Manipulation fundamentally abuses the intended design of relationship by creating an antagonistic connection. And I know this can be a little tricky to understand this principle, so let's break it down super clear, okay? Let's say you and your partner are trying to plan dinner. You're craving Thai food, really want Thai food. Your partner wants street tacos from that vendor up the road. All right? Now, a seductive argument may include bringing to your partner's mind the one special meal you had on your honeymoon in Thailand and how much they enjoyed it, recalling even the fragrance of the meal and your partner's joyous reaction. You get their thoughts racing, their mouth salivating, and before you know it, they go, that actually does sound good. Yeah, let's go get Thai food. Alternatively, a way to induce your partner could be to remind them how hungry they are and how that food truck always has a really long line and it's rush hour right now, which means it's even going to be worse. But you remember the Thai place? They're rarely crowded and they know exactly what you like, so it'll be really fast. Your partner's thinking about it and they go, I still really want tacos, but yeah, you're right. I'm too hungry to wait. We can go get tacos this weekend. Yeah, let's go grab Thai food. Now, you may be thinking, well, wait, isn't that bad? We got what we wanted. We got the Thai food and our partner just had to go along with it. No, that was very effective self-advocacy. And the partner didn't go along with anything. The partner chose to abandon their will and compromise and do what you wanted instead. They chose to do it. They weren't manipulated or coerced into doing it. They chose to do it. It's very effective self-advocacy. It's not common in our culture to say this, but you're allowed to want things and you're allowed to bring them up to your partner. And you're allowed to do so effectively enough that you get what you want. I mean, if your partner is that easygoing and willing to acquiesce, great. Win-win. There was no deception and it didn't violate the will of another. But I'll illustrate this same principle in the terms of manipulation. Okay, let me illustrate the difference here. Let's say you use either the seduction or inducement strategy and your partner doesn't receive it. They're not having it. To the first method, they say, oh, that was such a great meal and a good memory, but I'm really craving some tacos. So should we find another option we can both agree on? And to the second method, they could say, you're probably right, but I've been thinking about those street tacos all week and I know I'm hungry, but I'm totally willing to wait. And if you want, you can drop me off at the taco truck and while I wait, you can go grab your Thai food. If your partner says either of those things and you still continue to push your will, you've entered the threshold of manipulation. Now, you haven't sat down and made yourself at home, but you walked in the door. And this is precisely what abusive, manipulative, weak leaders and pseudo-doms do. They have ineffective social skills, they cannot properly communicate, and so their attempts at seduction are misplaced, their inducement efforts fall short, and they relegate their arguments to manipulation. Tale as old as time. And in this example, that would sound something like, oh, but you always pick where we go. Remember, the last 3 times we went where you wanted to go. Yes. No, I remember. I wouldn't just make that up. But whatever. If your desires matter more in this relationship, fine. We'll go wherever you want again. What happened there? Shame, character attacks, gaslighting, guilt, shutting down, emotional punishing. 6 tactics in 5 lines. And this stuff happens all the time. So, how can you, as the dominant, guide your submissive without doing that, without manipulating or controlling them? And the key, in my opinion, really has to do with desire, pleasure, satisfaction, and bliss. People like being around people who make them feel good. Dopamine is a motivator. Happy people serve better. Happy people are more productive. And in this case, happy submissives are devoted submissives. Now, the balance to this, okay? Because I'm not saying that a dominant's goal should be their submissive's happiness 24/7. I'm not saying that. That's a very bad idea. That will cause major entitlement and power struggles, okay? What I am saying is that a submissive who doesn't like you won't allow themselves to be led by you if we're not manipulating or controlling anything here. The submissive must choose freely to follow our guidance. And this can only happen when you win the submissive to you first. They must actually like you. They must actually enjoy your company, enjoy being around you, feel better in your presence, miss you when you're gone, not feel a sense of relief at your absence. And this is the key to effective guidance without crossing the line into control. Because this is also the difference between being dominant and domineering. Consider this word picture. Domineering is to make the submissive afraid of asking for the key to their freedom. Dominance is to make the submissive have no desire of asking for the key to their freedom. Are you pleasant to be around? Are you the most attractive you can be in appearance and attitude? Is your energy comforting and warm? Do you leave your submissive better than you found them? These questions, this right here is the necessary start to effective guidance. But this is just the first step. In my new High Demand Dominant bundle, I have 4 more practical action steps that will teach you how to effectively guide your submissive in confidence and authority without crossing the line into toxic territory. Just go over to patreon.com/LXerotica to get instant access to this amazing new resource. And be sure you're subscribed and have those notifications turned on so you won't miss next week's video where we're discussing the power of attachment styles on communication and how to engage with your submissive in the most dominant ways.